I'm Rida Fakhri. Welcome to We the People. In this episode, we focus on the Hispanic community of Tulsa in Oklahoma. It has more than doubled over the last decade to 70,000, making it 1/5 of the city's population. Such numbers allow illegal immigrants to blend in more easily. In 2007, Oklahoma State passed one of the country's toughest laws on immigration. The law, known as HB 1804, punishes anyone who transports or hires illegal immigrants. The new law has forced many of them into the shadows. Families without proper documentation worry about leaving their homes. These immigrants are scared to take their children to hospital when they're sick, and it is harder to find work. Immigration is one of the key issues in this year's presidential election. According to official estimates, about 12 million illegal immigrants live in the United States. Voters are paying careful attention to what the presidential candidates are now saying about immigration reform. We the People travels to Tulsa and explores how immigration policy has divided the community.
Yo me llamo Blanca Thames.
My name is Blanca Thames. I am originally from Mexico. I immigrated to the United States in 1981. Tulsa, Oklahoma has been my home for almost 23 years. At the beginning, Tulsa was the friendliest city I have ever known. Lately, the atmosphere started becoming a little bit more hostile for the immigrants.
Aquí tienes, ese es mi número de teléfono.
I go and knock on doors.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
You know, I just tell them, this is what is happening and this is how you can help somebody.
Ninguna información que no sea necesaria.
People stay in their homes because they're afraid because of the fear.
The community believes that they're not paying taxes, which is not true.
Are they over here legally? Like, did they come across the border, get their green card and all that?
Yeah, sometimes.
If they do, then I'm good, but them motherfuckers that run across the river, hola, Viva Mexico, I don't like them.
Tulsa changed because of this law. 1804 gives room for discriminatory practices.
Speak English. I'm American. Talk American. If you're here, talk American.
Are you legal? Are you legal?
Why is it that you have so much anger to it?
I'm over here legally.
This isn't Mexico. This is America.
I don't think that it's right to be judgmental just because of the color of the skin, you know?
It's not racial. None of us are immigrants because we were born here.
We don't have any problem with Mexicans except for the ones that aren't here legally.
They take jobs away and they work for cheaper just so they don't have to pay taxes.
They're not paying for
No, they are paying taxes. You are just being misinformed. That's what happens. And that's what creates all of this anger.
What's being misinformed is 100 million of y'all jumping over and scattering over our borders daily.
But I encourage you to do research and don't believe just what any people feed you. Just learn the facts, because these people are just working, honestly working, earning their living, and they are paying taxes.
This is America.
His points of views were very much different than mine, and the information that he was giving was totally wrong.
I'm white. Do I look like I was born in Mexico?
For him being white, that didn't make him an American just because he was white. A person should not be judged because of the color of the skin.
It is absolutely critical that we tone down the rhetoric when it comes to the immigration debate, because there has been an undertone that has been ugly. Oftentimes, it has been directed at the Hispanic community. We have seen hate crimes skyrocket, and that is unacceptable.
The policemen, sometimes they're our friends and sometimes they're not.
Cecily is a member of the church that I attend and a dear friend of mine who happened to be stopped by a police officer. She didn't have a driver's license and her insurance with her. They arrested her husband as well as her, and her husband was deported.
Cecily is staying at one of a friend's house
because she doesn't have any means to support herself. She cannot afford paying for a babysitter and a house and the food and transportation.
Well, I left the house because I had to go visit a friend, and the police started following me, and I didn't know why. I mean, supposedly the plates on the car were okay. They asked me for ID, and I told them I didn't have one. My husband was telling me that they were going to let me go, and if they take him, it's okay. But unfortunately, it was not like this. What they did was put us in jail. I was in jail for a week, asking God that my kids would be okay. My husband said, please let my wife go. We have kids that are alone. It was bad for them that I disappeared all of a sudden, when usually I would be with them day and night taking care of them. My husband provided for us, and we were never in need of anything with him. But now we're deeply in need. It has been very difficult, and now it's just me.
Your kids were born here, right?
Yes, both of them.
I think America, first of all, belongs to the American Indians. And secondly, it belongs to all type of immigrants because this nation was built by immigrants. My husband is an American Indian from the Creek tribe. Very proud of his heritage.
I was born in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Felipe is part of our family because he came and lived with us before he turned 12. We tried the very best to raise him, to place him into Christian schools, giving him the best that we could. And Felipe happens to be an undocumented kid.
Felipe, I was hoping he would be a U.S. citizen, but I don't think there's any way he's going to be able to get his paperwork.
Of course, I am very, very worried about Felipe. There is no day that passes by that I don't think that something may happen to him.
It's kind of scary, him driving, if you get pulled over, that's it. He'll get deported.
He doesn't know Mexico very well. This is his home.
Yeah, someone tipped off the sheriff saying there's a bunch of illegals that they call them. So the sheriff's arrived and he took about 10 people or so.
Let us abuse of power.
Well, it turns out that between 3 and 5 of those people that were arrested were actually U.S. citizens.
That is very, very embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
I am the secretary for the Coalition for the American Dream. The coalition advocates for a just and fair immigration reform, and we started doing gatherings and marches.
This country is here to provide for a better future and a better opportunity for anyone who comes here. Radical groups that advocate for law like 1804 feel that there's an automatic violation of the rule of law. The argument that just because you came here violating the law automatically denies you every right and opportunity that everyone else can enjoy, that is preposterous.
I'm with the immigration group IRON, Immigration Reform for Oklahoma Now. We're composed of independent voters, Democrats and Republicans, and we are united on what we call the one issue, which is the illegal alien invasion.
How much does this illegal immigration cost us?
We cannot take care of their entire country.
Wages have gone down.
The Hispanic are having children. And we Caucasians are not. Pretty soon they're going to outnumber us. And that's what they said. And that's what they're working on.
We went down to the Capitol. We kept immigration in the forefront. HB 04 was just an accumulation of several years' work, because like I said, it was our third bill.
Now our government has let us down.
If our federal government would do what they're supposed to do and control our borders and our sovereignty, we wouldn't be here today.
And they need some protections under the law. And they need some of our love and compassion.
John McCain has always been advocating for an immigration reform.
And when I'm president, I will put comprehensive immigration reform back on the nation's agenda. We're not going to have to wait for 10 years or 8 years to make this happen. In my first term, we will make this a priority, and we will get this done.
I believe that the Democratic Party favors more the middle-income families and create a better program for the undocumented or the immigrant population.
Pero si has notado un cambio, ¿verdad? En la,
But you've noticed a change, right, in how they treat you before and after this law was instituted.
Of course. When I came, I had a lot of expectations of coming to the States to make a lot of money. I worked and worked all night and still didn't. I had 3 jobs, in the morning cleaning schools and factories. I would work all day. I'm not disillusioned with the country, but with the people, how they treat you. I like to go outside and play with my daughters. They looked at you normally, and we would go to the park and you would be fine. And now, there are people that say nasty things to you on the street, like, go back to your country, and they look at you strangely. Unfortunately, it's doing a lot of harm. It is separating a lot of families. It has separated my daughters from their father, and they have no fault in this.